technical problems that we had last time. How about that? Hopefully that works. That was, 5 minutes of me rambling, and you guys couldn't hear me. That's on me. That's a fumble. That's a turnover on me. So I'll go back to everything that I tried to say when I started this. Welcome to the Browns postgame show. A victory for the Browns on this Sunday. They improved to 6-3, and it was a very impressive win for numerous reasons, folks, and I'll give you those reasons. Here's why. It was a rough week and a half for the Browns. Bye week, coming off a loss to the Raiders. Then you had Mayfield, who had to sit out a few days because he was close to somebody who contracted the coronavirus. He comes back, and then Chris Hubbard goes down with the coronavirus. And then you had to test everybody, and you had to shut down the facility for half the day. Then you get the guys back in the facility and prepare them for this game. So all of those distractions coming off the loss, then on top of that, you get dumped with this crappy weather. I'm looking out my patio door right now, and the trees are still swaying back and forth. It was raining off and on, 30, 40, 50 mile an hour winds, whatever it was, and the game was delayed to start right from the get-go. So all of that factors in. You knew it was going to be a low-scoring game, and you had to do today what the Las Vegas Raiders did to you 2 weeks ago, and that was out-physical the opponent, out-rush the opponent, and get a low-scoring win. And that's what they got. That's what they did. 231 yards rushing on 41 carries for the team. 231. And that's what the Raiders, remember, that's what they did to the Browns a couple of weeks back. And so the Browns needed to learn from that game. They did. Kevin Stefanski, tip of the cap to you. And they had to be mentally tough to realize it was going to be a low-scoring game, stick to the game plan, grind it out physical the Texans, and they did. And they don't win this game without Nick Chubb. You might say, well, that's obvious, Road, man. Well, hear me out on this. Nick Chubb's activated today off the IR. He's your starting running back. Kareem Hunt's his backup. Kareem Hunt's a third down specialist in that situation as the backup. But he also will get his share of carries as Chubb's backup when they want to give him a break. We saw that Nick Chubb, when he was the feature back and Hunt was here, they were the number one rushing team in the National Football League. You take Nick Chubb away, and they drop down during those weeks to like 24 or 25. So Kareem Hunt is a nice change of pace, third down back, and give him 10 to 15 carries a game. He's perfect in that role for this team. Nick Chubb, you give him the ball 19 to 25 times a game. That's what he's special at. Not great at catching the ball out of the backfield, can do it. But the 1-2 punch, you put those two guys together. It's a great 1-2 punch. And Nick Chubb today, how about the run at the end of the game by Chubb? To have the smarts to go down he ran out of bounds, didn't matter, but to go down before he got to the end zone, realizing let's not even score here and give them a chance to score, get an onside kick. He went down, out of bounds, realized that we'll take a couple of knees, this game's over. Yeah, we win 10-7. He doesn't get a touchdown personally, but he doesn't care. He's glad to be back playing, and he was smart, and he finished with, $126 on the ground, and the only offensive touchdown for the Browns. Kareem Hunt, 104 yards, 231 as a team. That's a good win for this team. They improved to 6-3. 6-3 they improved to. Okay, so they're right in that wild card race in the AFC. This was a good, and you want a tip of the cap? How about Myles Garrett? Maybe the play of the game. Early in the game, Myles Garrett on 4th and goal from the 2 stops Deshaun Watson from getting in the end zone on a quarterback draw. Great, Joe Woods, let's give him credit. We've questioned him in this defense to this point. Granted, the weather has played a factor in the defense only giving up 16 and 7 points in the last 2 games at home, right? But still, the idea was to keep Deshaun Watson within the tackles. Don't let him get to the perimeter. Don't let him get outside. And that's a great game plan by Joe Woods. That's great execution by the defense. And Myles Garrett showing you why he's in the running for Defensive Player of the Year. I had him for 1 sack, 2 tackles for losses, and I think 6 total tackles today. And he made impact plays. Impact plays were key in this game. Chubb's impact play at the end of the game to get the first down and the smarts to not score a touchdown, right? You got to love Chubb on the touchdown run. He was going up the middle, jump cut 1, jump cut 2 into the end zone touchdown. 2 cutbacks by Nick Chubb. Kareem Hunt, what did he have receiving today too? Let's see here with Kareem Hunt. Give him his total. He had 3 catches, 28 yards receiving, 19 rushes, 104 yards. So 132 yards of total offense for Kareem Hunt. That's what he's here for. He's the backup, third down guy. Combine his rushing and receiving yards to go along with Chubb's rushing yards. And how about Hollywood Higgins? Coming up, you talk about big plays. What was it, 3rd and 17 or 3rd and 18? It was a huge play late in that game. 21-yard catch, great throw by Baker Mayfield. And Higgins comes down with the ball inbounds, gets both feet in. First down, they keep the ball, they move the change. 1 or 2 plays later, he's wide open. They got a 15-yard pass interference penalty because he was wide open, and the Texans had to grab him or hold him, or they may have scored another touchdown. So Higgins, tip of the cap. Great job. And Baker Mayfield didn't turn the ball over today. What was he sacked? I think 1 time today. Held on to it, didn't cough it up. He rushed it 3 times, didn't fumble, and didn't throw any interceptions. Game manager. That's what they need out of Baker Mayfield. Manage the game. Don't make mistakes. Don't turn it over. And that's what he did today. So great job by Baker Mayfield. Tip of the cap for what he was able to do today in making sure that, you know what, it's okay to punt the football. It's going to be a low-scoring game. Our defense is playing pretty well. And let's be honest, the Houston Texans, I love that pizza. Remember Romeo Crennel when he was here in Cleveland? He did that commercial on TV. I love that pizza. Well, Romeo didn't coach a great game today. I applauded him for going for it on 4th and goal from the 2 early in the game. Then late in the game, and this was a key play too, or not late in the game, second half. 48-yard field goal in these conditions? That was a dumb decision, Romeo. You should have went for it there on 4th down as well. The Browns have struggled to stop teams on 4th down this year. And instead, missed field goal. Browns get the ball at the 37-yard line. They go right down the field, and they score. Change the game right there. 3 points, no good for the Texans. 7 points good for the Browns. That's a 10-point swing. Might have been a 14-point swing had they gone for it on 4th down and then went down and scored a touchdown. So Romeo, and then he burned a timeout. How about a tip of the cap to Kevin Stefanski on that 1 4th down play late in the 4th quarter? Near midfield, makes it look like they're going to go for it on 4th down just to force Romeo Crennel to take the timeout, and he did. And that came back to bite him in the you-know-what late in the game. So Kevin Stefanski today, I know it's not going to be, it wasn't pleasing to watch. It wasn't an exciting game to watch with all these high-scoring games. But because of the elements, the Browns stuck to their game plan, executed it, and came out with a victory. So big plays. Baker Mayfield, no turnovers. To me, those are big plays. He didn't turn it over. Nick Chubb, touchdown run in that late run. Kareem Hunt, combination of rushing and receiving. Higgins, big 3rd down catch. Myles Garrett with 3 tackles for losses. If you count a sack as a tackle for loss. Ogunjobi had a sack today. Heck, Zendejo even broke up a play in the end zone. Then he got beat, later in the game. But but we won't even go there. Won't even go there. All right, not even going to look at that. So all in all, it was a good effort on an ugly day when you're coming off a loss and a mistake here or there. You could lose this. It's a 2-game losing streak. Instead of 6-3, you're 5-4. Right? So very, very solid for the Browns on this crappy day. All right, let's get some questions and comments in from everybody that's checking in via Twitter and via Facebook here, as we'll pull these up and I'll give you my reaction to some of these things. In Chubb, here, I'll just post it. I'll put it up here on the page if I can get my computer to work. Here we go. This is from Quentin Singleton. In Chubb and Hunt, we trust. What this offense is. especially without OBJ now. Out for the season. He had successful surgery. Best of luck to him in his rehab and all that, but he's done for the year. This team is about running the football, play action faking, rollouts off of that, and having a balanced attack. And Quentin, I agree with you. In Chubb and Hunt, we trust, without question. Let's see here. This one from Nathaniel Miku. Good job, Cleveland. Yeah. Again, it wasn't fun to watch. It was downright boring. What was it, 3-0 at halftime? You know, sleeping through it and everything like that. And you're thinking, oh, geez, 3-0 at halftime. And then we're going to get a big mistake. And Mr. Bill, you know, is getting upset if they turn it over or they miss a field goal. Well, that didn't happen. We can put Mr. Bill away. That's a victory. How about Cody Parkey with the field goal in those conditions? Got to give him some love. Put those 3 points on the board to give him the lead at halftime, and those were the 3 points that ended up winning this game. So a tip of the cap to Cody Parkey for that. Let's go to another comment here. Put it up on the screen for y'all to see from J. I want to get that. What is the name again there? J-Rod all day. There we go. It just takes me. I'm older. It takes me a while to read these young whippersnappers' Twitter handles. J-Rod all day. Good win. A lot of work to do. Give the defense credit for this win. Yes, wind aided, weather aided, no question about it, but much better than what we saw earlier in the year with this defense giving up, boatloads of points. Now, the one touchdown drive late in the game that the Texans did have, they threw the ball. They didn't even think about running it, I think, except 1 or 2 plays. Weather gets better or indoor or wherever they play, that secondary is still a question mark. But for today, yes, give the defense credit. They held the Houston Texans to 90 yards rushing today, as I look at some of the stats here. And they held Deshaun Watson in that rushing attack to only 36 yards. So that was outstanding by the defense today. Got to give them some love. I'm looking at the final stats here. 356 yards for the Browns, only 243 for the Texans. So yes, give the defense some love. Let's check third down today. I don't know what it is, but I'm willing to bet the Browns were much better on third down offensively and defensively today. Third down efficiency. Browns were 6 of 12 on third downs offensively, sustaining drives, keeping the defense off the field, 50%. See, I thought they were better on defense, but Houston, that last drive boosted these stats, but they were 7 for 14 on third down, so 50%, but they were 0 for 1 on their fourth down. Remember, I think coming into this game, Browns had given up 13 out of 14 fourth down tries, and that was a huge fourth down stop by Myles Garrett near the end zone. So, time of possession, let's look at that number. Browns win that one 33 minutes to 27 minutes. So, those little things in a one-score game make a difference. They mean a whole heck of a lot. Kevin Stefanski faking to go for it there on fourth down late in the game just to force Romeo Crennel to take a timeout. That's a big play. Comes back where then the Texans only have 1 timeout left. It's the little things that help you win games, especially in close games. This one here from Quentin, another one, offensive play calling, tip of the cap. Okay. I thought when I first read this, I thought it was offensive play calling crap. That was just me taking a quick look at it, but it's not. He says good job with the play calling, and I agree with you, Quentin. I really do. I like the way that they stuck with the game plan because Houston came in 2-6, right? 2-6. They're not a good football team. Other than Deshaun Watson, let's be honest. And what was Matt Millen talking about when he's saying how great the wide receivers are? Cooks and who is it? Cooks, Cobb, and Fuller are average at best. Cobb's way past his prime. Cooks, I cut him 18 times on my fantasy team because he cost me games. He sucks. That's on me for drafting him. And Fuller's average. That's not a good receiving core. You don't think they missed Hopkins? Are you kidding me? They had nobody to stretch the field. A weak Browns secondary did not have to worry about anybody going deep. They didn't even try to throw deep. That's a terrible receiving core. It's a terrible offense. Duke Johnson, please. He's the feature running back. And even if David Johnson, he stinks too. They have one player on offense. They have, the Browns have one player basically on defense in Myles Garrett for the most part. Throw in Ward too. Okay, I get it. But they got Deshaun Watson. That's it. And the Browns did a great job on J.J. Watt. He had a couple of tackles for losses, but not much. No real pressures on Baker Mayfield. He's starting to lose a step. All those injuries starting to add up and play a factor. So just an overall good win for this team when they needed it. Think about it. They lose this game today. 2 losses in a row, and you had a bye week to prepare for it, and you're 5-4 instead of 6-3. It's a big difference. Then you wear that L for another week as you wait for the Eagles, who lost to the Giants today. You believe that? So, this is a good one. This is a good W for Kevin Stefanski and the Browns. Now, do they need to get better? Does the offense have to be better? Yes. Dare I look? All right, I'll do it just for you-know-what and giggles. Let's see if I can get a forecast already for next Sunday. See what the forecast will be for next Sunday. If they have, here we go. According to this, next Sunday, which will be the 22nd, 56 degrees and rain next Sunday. Now, that can change. I'm just, they may have to use this recipe for a win at home in these conditions that are going to creep up with snow coming soon, along with the wind and the rain coming off of Lake Erie. Just takes me back to 99 when they rushed to get back and didn't put a damn dome on the stadium. Another story for another day. Some other comments here. Let's get some of these up here. J-Rod all day, I got you. All right. This is the one where it says good win, a lot of work to do. Give them credit on defense. Absolutely. Like that. Absolutely like that. And I look at the defense as, while they may not be a whole heck of a lot better because they've been weather aided, you got to believe they're more confident, don't you? Got to believe they're more confident in themselves, even though maybe the weather has been a huge factor for them. Let's get some more comments in here via Twitter and via Facebook as we pull these up. I got to do it on my phone. Roadman, Higgins and Baker have something going. I agree. I said this a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if it's been proven yet. A lot of people think I was crazy. I think the passing game, when the weather's better, might be better without OBJ, because Baker's not trying to force it into him, which leads to turnovers, right? And I don't know why with Freddie Kitchens last year and early this year with Kevin Stefanski, why Hollywood Higgins hadn't been playing or didn't play early in the season, but he was an impact player today for the Browns. He and Baker Mayfield have that connection going back to when they were running scout team or the opposing offense. They just do. They have that connection. So keep him in there. To me, Landry's your slot guy. Higgins may be your number 1. And then Kadero Hodge is your number 3. And then you got Hooper back today coming off the appendectomy. He only, I think he had 1 catch. Let me see here in the stats. Hooper. Let's see. Where are you, Austin Hooper, today? Austin Hooper, 1 catch on 2 targets, 11 yards. He'll work, but he's a good blocker. And, I got to give a tip of the cap. No coincidence that with Chubb back and Wyatt Teller back on the offensive line, this team ran for over 200 yards, right? So Wyatt Teller, getting him back makes a difference with that offensive line. No doubt about that. No doubt about it. All right, let's get some more of these questions in here via Facebook and via Twitter. Oh, there I go again. Paul Cray. Here we go. Paul Cray hit me up on Facebook. We need to have plays for the wind, rollouts, fake handoffs, and other things. I agree with you, Paul. There were a couple of times they rolled him out, and he's more effective that way, especially with the wind and when the wind's at your back. That's one thing. I agree with Paul Cray, who sent me in that message via Facebook. Stefanski needs to add a few more of those every game, whether the weather's good or bad, with Baker Mayfield. Shannon Mayer. Nice smart move by Chubb to run out at the 1 yard line. Shannon Mayer, absolutely. Very smart. Headsy. I don't know if he was watching some college football the last couple of weeks. Probably was. Rehabbing from, the knee injury and everything, right? Saw that where it cost a team a game. I forget what team that was. Was watching the game as well. It was Penn State. Penn State, the kids scored, and it gave the ball back to Indiana. Indiana came back, tied it up, and then won it in overtime. So smart move by Nick Chubb not to score the touchdown and go out at the 1, because then you take, 1, 2, 3 knees. They've got no timeouts left. I love that pizza. Romeo Cornell, you can get some post-game pizza now, Romeo. Whatever. Let's see here. Mark Chalmers thought the defense played better today. I agree. Wind aided, weather aided, but still, make play. Let's call them out. The plays that were made on defense, right? 3 of them by Myles Garrett. Been doing it all year. I had him for a full sack. That would give him 10 sacks on the season. I thought I saw somewhere where he got a half sack. I had him for a full sack. Either way, half sack, full sack. That was a huge play early in the game. The tackle for loss on 4th down, huge play. Ogunjobi with a sack, huge play. Zendejo had a pass breakup that might have been offensive pass interference or defensive pass interference. They called nothing. He didn't get beat for that touchdown. Now, he got beat later, but at least he made a play there. So there were some plays made on defense to help win this game. So, yes, give credit to those guys. Let's see here. Craig, Easterday, Mark Chalmers, Paul Craig, all checking us out. Craig says, Chubb and Hunt were fantastic. Their patience and explosiveness were vital today. We controlled the ball and the defense was adequate. They made enough plays and kept Watson under control. Very well said, Craig. Very well said. And that was part of the game plan. Don't let Watson get to the outside. Don't let him get outside. Keep him inside the pocket. That way there are more bodies there and you have a better chance of either sacking him, forcing him to throw the ball away, or holding him to no gain on runs. And they did a great job of keeping him in the pocket, not letting him get outside. Here's a post I want to throw up there on the screen for everybody to check out. David R. Shipe 1, defense, run the ball equals win. Recipe for success for this team. And let me add one more thing to that, David. No turnovers, right? Browns turn the ball over one time, maybe they lose this game. Huge defensive stop on the 4th and goal. That's kind of like a turnover for the Texans, right? So think about this. The Texans went for it on 4th and goal from the 2, didn't score 7 there, missed a field goal. It's 3 more they didn't score. They scored a touchdown late. So they had a chance for 17 points. The Browns had a chance for 17 points. If Chubb would have needed to score, he would have there. So that's what I mean. These games are so close. Plays like that matter. Plays like that matter. 1 or 2 plays. It's the difference between a win and a loss. Let's see here. Mark Chalmers says, Hooper blocks so well on runs. He does. Only had 1 catch for 11 yards, but on a running team, it's important to have a tight end that can block like that and allow the backs, depending on where the play is designed to go, either to get to the outside or to force the defensive player to the outside to let the guys run inside. So, Mark, you're right on that. What else do we have here? It says, Roadman, do you like Landry? He's a hothead. He had the 15-yard penalty. And that was a dumb mistake. Jarvis Landry was known for that in Miami. It was one of the reasons he got dealt. That he could blow up at times and get in the pushing, shoving, fisticuffs, stupid, unsportsmanlike penalties like that. That was dumb on his part. Okay, yay, you caught the ball, you got a first down, you don't need to spike it, you didn't score a touchdown. You did your job. Don't penalize your team. Don't back your team up 12 yards after that play. Remember, that drive started deep in their own territory. That got him out, from inside the 10, and then he makes the catch. Luckily, it was a dead ball foul, unsportsmanlike, and it backed him up 12 yards instead of before the whistle blew, and then they would have been inside the 5 again. Jarvis Landry's a good player. He's a hard-nosed player. He's playing hurt with those ribs and everything like that. But you can't do that, Jarvis. You just can't, man. It's just, it's bad football. Very bad football. All right, let me see here. I'm going to pull up a couple more of these questions via Twitter as well as on Facebook. Here we go. Twitter. Another one here. Roadman, what'd you think of the offensive line today with Wyatt Teller back? Outstanding. Now, I think Jedrick Wills had one penalty today. Treader, I think, might have had one, and he got beat on a sack maybe. But for the most part, when you carry the ball 41 times for 231 yards, it's hard to bitch about anything with the offensive line. They averaged 5.6 yards a carry. Now, yes, that average was inflated on that last run, 59 yards by Chubb, right? But still, 231 on the ground when you had to run it. They knew you were going to run it. You knew you were going to run it. They couldn't stop you. Tip of the cap to the O-line, all the way across. From Wills to Conklin, the bookends, Treader in the middle, Bitonio, and getting Wyatt Teller back. Got to mention all 5 of those guys and throw in Hooper as the tight end blocking today. Yes, great job by the offensive line for the Browns. All right, let's check some scores here while we wait for some more comments to come in, questions to come in. Finals from today. And let me, I'm going to change this as well. I'm going to give you the other banner we have up so you know what's next for the Browns coming across the bottom. There you go. Eagles are up next on November 22nd, 1 o'clock kickoff. Finals from the early games today. Tampa Bay beat Carolina 46-23. Ronald Jones, a 98-yard touchdown run for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think that's a franchise record for the Buccaneers, 98 yards. So Tampa Bay bounces back from getting blasted by the Saints. Giants surprised the Eagles today, 27-17. I haven't looked at the box score yet, so I don't know if Carson Wentz turned it over a bunch of times. I like Carson Wentz. He was one of the reasons that they won a Super Bowl that year. Granted, it was Foles who finished it off, like Cardell Jones finished it off for the Buckeyes, but still, when Carson Wentz went down that year as an MVP candidate, he has struggled. He's become a turnover machine. I got to look to see if he coughed it up a number of times today, but the Giants beat the Eagles 27-17. That means the Eagles come in off a loss, 3-5-1. That should be a must-win, or I shouldn't say a must-win. That will be a win for the Browns. They will beat the Eagles next Sunday at home. Detroit beat the Washington football team 30-27. And the Packers beat the Jaguars in a close game 24-20. Your 4 p.m. games, and I'll look for some scores on those coming up here. Let me pull it up right now. Take a look at all the scores. And here we go. The 4 o'clock games. The Steelers in the first quarter lead the Bengals 3-0. The Dolphins lead the Chargers 14-0. Tua Tagovailoa against Herbert there. Raiders 7, Broncos 3, 4 o'clock game. Bills 10, Cardinals 6, 4 o'clock game. 49ers 7, Saints 0. The Saints, I think, are going to struggle today, but win it in the end, similar to what the Steelers did last week against Dallas coming off the Ravens game. Whenever you play a big emotional game, as the Steelers did when they beat the Ravens, you always have a letdown the next week. We saw that with Pittsburgh last week, right? They found a way to win late against Dallas. Today, Saints are coming off that big win over Tampa. Their heads are all swollen and everything like that. It's going to take them a while. They'll pull it out in the end against the 49ers. 49ers lead in the first, just starting the second quarter, up 7-0 and threatening 4th and goal from the New Orleans 15. Let's see here. The Rams lead the Seahawks 10-7. And that's just starting the second quarter. Your Sunday night game is Ravens at Patriots. The Colts beat the Titans on Thursday night football 34-17. And your Monday night game tomorrow night is the Vikings at the Bears. So you're up to date on all the scores. A couple of other notes to pass along to you. Dustin Johnson, the winner of the Masters. He wins his second major, his first Masters. He shoots 20 under par, 268, a new Masters course record. So congratulations to the number 1 ranked golfer in the world, Dustin Johnson. Tiger Woods, don't know where he finished. All I know, he had a 10 on one hole today. So like you, like me, we hackers who have had double digits on many holes, Tiger Woods had a 10 today. I think he put it in the drink. He tin cupped it like 3 times or whatever today. So Tiger wins it last year. Doesn't fare well this year. He'll put the green jacket, or probably already did, on Dustin Johnson. Congratulations to Dustin Johnson. Football rankings for college football are out. The Buckeyes, of course, did not play this weekend. They had their game canceled because of the COVID outbreak with the Maryland team. So let's update you on the new standings from the AP and the coaches poll. AP poll has Bama 1, Notre Dame 2, OSU 3, Clemson 4, and Texas A&M 5. Got Indiana in at number 9 at 4-0, and Wisconsin in at 2-0 at number 10. So 3 teams in the top 10 from the Big Ten in the AP the AP poll. To the coaches poll we go. The coaches voted this way: Bama 1, Notre Dame 2, OSU 3, Clemson 4, Florida 5. Texas A&M 6, Cincinnati 7. They're 7-0. Luke Fickell and the Bearcats 7-0, coming in at number 7, in fact, in both polls. Number 8 is BYU. The coaches have Miami of Florida 9 and Indiana 10. So the Buckeyes are number 3 in both polls. They will play undefeated Indiana. Hard to believe. Indiana, second best team in the Big Ten this year. Indiana's 4-0. They come to Columbus. Noon kickoff this coming Saturday in Columbus. And of course, you'll listen to the game right here on WHBC. And then we'll do a Buckeyes post-game show right here on Facebook and Twitter. So there's your college football update. All right, a couple of more comments and thoughts from yours truly. Let me get my game notes here. I wrote down so many game notes. I wanted to make sure we give some love to some guys that deserve it. Here we go. Get out of the way, Mr. Bill. Let's see here. Game notes for me. I'm going to run down some of these. I'm repeating. Let me change the banner so you can look at the stats. Put them up there on the screen for you. I wrote down from the get-go, Nick Chubb back starting is huge for the Browns. And it was. Myles Garrett, 3 huge plays in the first 20 minutes of the game. Tackle for loss on Duke Johnson, -1 yard. Garrett sacks Watson, -5 yards. Garrett tackle for loss on Watson on 4th and goal from the 2, -2 yards. 3 tackles, -8 yards for Myles Garrett. Huge plays early on in the game. Stupid penalty on Jarvis Landry after an 18-yard catch on 3rd and 7, unsportsmanlike. We talked about that. Hallelujah, tip of the cap, Larry Ogunjobi with his first sack of the year. Last game it was Vernon with his first 2 sacks of the year. Now Ogunjobi gets one. B.J. Good. I don't think the broadcasters mentioned this. I think B.J. Goodson, on that 3rd and goal play before the Garrett play where he stopped Watson, I think B.J. Goodson tipped the pass on 3rd down, or it might have went for a touchdown. Have to look at that and check the stats on that, but I think he tipped it, and that might have saved the touchdown, so I'm going to give B.J. Goodson, the linebacker, defensive end, whatever position he plays, a little love there. I also wrote down Matt Millen's crazy if he thinks the Texans' wide receiving core are one of the best in the NFL. No deep threats. Browns defense, Joe Woods, good game plan, keeping Deshaun Watson in the pocket. Stupid decision by Romeo Crennel. I love that pizza. Stupid decision by Romeo Crennel to not go for it on 4th and 2 from the Browns' 28-yard line with about 4 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. They try the field goal, 46 yards, 48 yards, whatever it was, and they miss it. Browns go down and score. Dumb decision by Romeo. Browns scored TD on next drive. 3rd and 18, Baker to Higgins, 21 yards, huge. And then Higgins draws a pass interference play. Nick Chubb on that drive, 6 carries, 32 yards, and the 9-yard touchdown run. Gotta love that drive. 9 plays, 64 yards, over 5 minutes on time of possession. Other game notes that I had down here. Browns did to Houston what the Raiders did to the Browns 2 weeks ago. Houston's a bad football team, 2-7 for a reason. They've got Deshaun Watson and nothing else. Sendejo late on the coverage on the Texans touchdown. Got to throw that in there, of course. He's good for that at least once, twice, 10 times a game. Great little coaching move by Kevin Stefanski on that fourth down near midfield, faking like they were going to go for it. It forced Romeo, I love that pizza, forced Romeo Crennel to take that timeout. Let's see here. Hunt better not being the focal point of the offense and getting his breathers. Another note I wrote down during the game, Chubb and Hunt, great 1-2 punch. That's the key to this team. 38 carries between the two, 230 yards and 1 touchdown. Could have been 2 touchdowns, but Chubb very smart going out of bounds. So those were my game notes. Those were my thoughts. Let's see if we got any more that we can throw up here for you. Let's see. Roadman, what about special teams? Donovan Peoples-Jones. Forgot about that play. Oh, geez. Totally forgot about that because they won the game. What the hell was he thinking? And they gave up a couple of decent returns earlier. Special teams still iffy. And Donovan Peoples-Jones, not a great return guy. What, they have nobody else to put back there to return kicks? He's doing okay as a receiver. Caught the game-winning touchdown pass against Cincinnati. But as a return guy, not a huge fan. Not a huge fan of Donovan Peoples-Jones returning kicks or anything like that. Let's see here. Couple more. Roadman, who do you like, Maslin or Hoban? Going to be a war. That's getting away from the Browns, but it's a game we'll have on WHBC Friday night, 7 o'clock. Making the trip down to Columbus to Fortress Obits Field or whatever the heck that field is where they're playing this game. You've got the Hoban Knights, who won, 4 straight state titles, 2 in Division III, 2 in Division II, and then Maslin beat them last year in the regional finals, knocked them out. And then Maslin went into the state finals last year and lost to Cincinnati LaSalle. Well, this year, I'll get this right, Maslin just played Cincinnati LaSalle and beat them late in the game with a big touchdown pass from, Zach Catrone to Martavius Johnson. And then in a 14-14 game, Hoban pulled away from Avon. So now the two Giants meet for the third time in the last 3 years. Hoban beat Maslin in the state title game 42-28 2 years ago. Although that game, if you remember it, folks, Hoban was up 35-7 at the half. And Maslin came back to within 35-28. Hoban ran a fake punt on 4th down and then scored to put the game away. And then last year, Maslin beats Hoban 17-14. So both games are tossed. So who am I going with? You know what? I got to go with the Tigers. I think defensively, they are better than the last 2 years. I think offensively, with Ballard on one side, Wilson Lamp on the other, and you forget about Martavius Johnson, who caught the game-winning touchdown pass. You add in Hartson, the running back, who's run for 100 yards in like 5 out of the last 6 weeks. If Catrone doesn't turn the ball over, I like Maslin to beat Hoban and win their first ever state title in the playoff era. So good luck to Nate Moore, his coaching staff, and the Maslin Tigers this week. Again, tune in Friday night, News Talk 1480, WHBC. We'll have the Alt Care Stadium show for you at 6 o'clock. 7 o'clock is kickoff. Dan Belford, good. Denny Kincaid, our stats guy. Mark Miller, former Browns, BG. Canton South quarterback is our high school football analyst. I'll be roaming the sidelines. I'll have it covered for you on social media, so you can look for it on The Kenny Roda on Twitter, 1480 WHBC on Twitter, and then I'll post some stuff up here on Facebook as well, so you'll see highlights and pictures and all of that, hopefully with a trophy celebration this year of hoisting the Division II state championship trophy for the Maslin Tigers. So, Mark, there's my answer. I think it's going to be a lower scoring game than it was the first time they met in the finals. So I'm going to go, let's see here. How about this? I'll go 20. Oh, boy. 14, 17, 14, 20. I'll go 2017 Maslin winning the state title. Shout out to Bill Blystone Jr. and Mark checking us out here on Facebook. We appreciate that very much, guys. We really do. But yeah, that game, I can't wait for that game. I really can't. That's going to be outstanding on Friday night. So All right, let's see. Any more coming in via Twitter? One last check of these, and then we'll get out of here. And I'm going to go grab some dinner and then watch the Steelers and the Bengals to see if the Bengals can pull off the upset. The Steelers are 8-0, but they've won like 5 games by 1 possession or less, or whatever. So one more question here on Twitter. Roadman, do you like the Browns against the Eagles? I already said that, yes. I expect the Browns to win next week and go to 7-3. How about that? Were they 7-3 with Brian Hoyer when they finished 10-6? I've got to go back and look. They're 6-3 now after today's win. They win next week. They're 7-3. Then I think they got the Jaguars after that. So that's why 10 wins is attainable for this team. And for me, expected. With the schedule they have and the talent they have, I expect them to win 10 games and get in as the 7th or 6th seed in the playoffs, or if they expand the playoffs, as the 8th or 7th seed. So I expect them to win next week, yes, against the Eagles. Oh, let's get one more here. Got this, just came in. Connie Bednarczyk. Thrilled they won, but it was so blah. I missed Chubb's last run. Where were you, Connie? Where'd you go? Most exciting part of the game. Power went out. I didn't read the whole thing. My bad. Power went out for like 1 minute. Had to reset everything. Thank goodness it was only a minute. A win is a win. Did have the whole game on WHBC also. Oh, listening to Jimmy Donovan. Connie, I apologize. Wondering where you went. Your power went out. Read the whole damn tweet, Roadman. Don't get on Connie like that. My bad, Connie. Thanks for listening to WHBC as well. And yeah, you can do that with Deke and with Jimmy Donovan calling the game. So thank you for that, Connie. Glad you enjoyed the game. And yeah, it wasn't the most exciting, but hey, guess what? When they're 10-6 and they're in the playoffs, you won't remember this bad game. You'll just be happy they got in the playoffs, and this game counts as one win, just like a 34-7 win would count, or a 35-30 win over the Bengals counted. It all counts the same. So with the weather and everything like that, you take it, and you just move on and you get to the next game. That's what it's all about. Win and advance to the next week. Go 1-0. We hear the coaches say it all the time. I know it's coach speak and everything like that, but win, be 1-0 that week, and get ready for your next opponent, who happens to be the Philadelphia Eagles. All right, sorry for the technical problems at the beginning there where we were silent for a while. Hopefully it wasn't too long. I'm going to go back and watch it, maybe edit it, clean this thing up, that post-editing thing you can do. I got to learn how to do that. But 3 things. Let me lay it out for you. Friday on News Talk 14, 4 things. I'm going to start all over. Number 1, Kenny and JT Show, Monday through Friday, 3 to 7 p.m. on News Talk 1480 WHBC. Ask your smart device to play it for you. You can listen to it anywhere you are. All right? So Kenny and JT Show, Monday through Friday, 3 to 7 p.m. on News Talk 1480 WHBC. That's 1. Number 2, Friday night, tune in to WHBC, 6 o'clock for the Alt Care Stadium show, pregame show, 7 o'clock for the kickoff of the Division II OHSAA Division II State Championship game between Massillon and Akron-Holman. Should be a great game. We'll have it covered for you on WHBC Friday night, so tune that in. That's 2. 3, Saturday, Buckeyes against the undefeated Indiana Hoosiers. 12 o'clock Saturday kickoff on WHBC, and then join me back here on Facebook and Twitter for the Buckeyes postgame show. That's 3. Number 4, next Sunday, 1 o'clock on WHBC, Browns and Eagles. After they beat the Eagles, we'll do a postgame show, hopefully without any technical problems, and we'll do that on Facebook and Twitter. So listen to WHBC all week long, Kenny JT Show, Division II state title, Buckeyes, Browns. We are your football home. Why would you go anywhere else? And then we'll see you back here on Facebook and Twitter Live for next week's post-game show. Have a great weekend. Have a great rest of your weekend. Have a great week. And one last thing. Please wear your damn mask. Please wash your hands. Social distance. Okay? Please. So we don't have to have the governor shutting everything down and they don't play the state finals maybe. Remember when they shut them down for basketball? Let's do the little things. I know it's a pain, but think of others and not just yourself. Okay? Don't be selfish. Follow the guidelines. Let's get through this winter that hopefully the vaccine is coming soon, but this winter that is just crazy right now with the numbers that keep skyrocketing. So just go out of your way. Please think of others. Treat others like you want to be treated. And the best way, to think about wearing a mask, either think that you have it or somebody else does. and the mask is keeping you safe or them safe. All right, that's it. I'm done. I rambled on too much. We'll talk to you on Monday on the Kenny and JT show, and then next weekend, Saturday, with the Buckeyes postgame show and the Browns postgame show on Sunday. See you. Bye.